Hey y'all, it's Allie and thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Obviously, I sound pretty bad. I sound horrible. I sound like I have smoked way too many packs of cigarettes. I have a reaction apparently to whatever is in the air. I thought it was a cold, but it's not. It's allergies. And so my voice is not very pretty right now. However, I was telling my friend that I can kind of get away with this kind of raspy Adele kind of a sound when I try to sing, because I have to sing. I sang for like 2 hours last week and I had to push it out, and you're not supposed to do that. I do not advise doing that. You're not supposed to do it. But I had to because no one else could cover for me. So it sounded very Adele in nature. I do not sound like Adele. I'm saying Adele-ish. Ish. Like the raspy thing, you know what I'm saying? Heaven mind I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best of you too. Sometimes it lasts in love, and sometimes it hurts so bad. So I really don't sound like her, but it's kind of fun to try. The raspy kind of helps. The point of this video is not how I can try to imitate Adele's voice. It is how you can imitate good products with just cheap stuff from your kids' drawer. I was at in Austin. I did a watercolor demo, and they provided the ladies with this goodie bag, and in the bag was this cheaper set of watercolors. I can't find it for the life of me right now. I have no clue where it went. It's probably under a pile somewhere. Or my kids maybe ran off with it. I'm not sure, because I told them they could have it. Basically, it's this cheaper than Crayola. It's like, and it was nothing against like the goodie bag that was put together. I was just surprised because I had brought my Daniel Smiths, I brought my handmade watercolors, and I was gonna demo with those, and I was like, you know what, no, I need to demo with the cheaper watercolors because that's what these ladies have, and I wanted to be able to do it so that they felt like they could have success with them, achieve the same look in my journal, which is that little set. So I tried it, and I was so surprised at how good it turned out. It had this little tiny little, you know, paintbrush, and the trick was putting a lot of water on the paper with that brush, and it took several times going back in the water, but I did it. They did it, and it was fun, and it got me excited. It was like, what else can I do with my kids' supplies? So I ransacked their little area, this like armoire thing that we have. I have a whole china cabinet dedicated to their homeschool stuff and their little section for their art stuff. So I grabbed a Crayola marker and their cheaper pencils, and I just did a whole journal page. Minus, I did add some of my washi and my cheapo Scotch tape washi at the end. I did add some of that at the very, very end, but pretty much just to share with you that you don't have to have Daniel Smith's to make a pretty watercolor page. You don't have to have, you know, super expensive supplies to make a cool journal page. Like, it really is about the words, but if you can't afford the more expensive paints, then you can totally do it with Crayola paints, like for reals. So if you're interested in seeing my page and how it turns out with my kids' supplies and that little watercolor set I got from Austin, then keep watching.
I always forget to turn the mic on, actually. The attendees were given this watercolor set. Literally a set that you would find, you know, at in a grocery store aisle or something. Sorry, I'm adjusting my microphone. But so this is what they were given. Now I use Daniel Smith's for my paints, and no one, you know, I don't expect anyone to go out and buy expensive paints for their journal. So I wanted to show you some alternatives that you can use with like your kids' supplies, or you could pick one of these up for like $1, you know. So let me show you a spread. Now, I will say this. I wouldn't skip on paper for your journaling, like the type of paper that you use. I'm very particular about my paper. Midori, you can grab a Midori insert for like $5 and some change. The Tomoes, I think, are like $6 or something. Again, you pay for what you value. If you want to have a nice journal You know, these are things that are going to last forever unless you burn them. But if you don't, they're going to last, you know, and they're going to be handed down or whatever you choose to do with them, but they last. And so I feel like it's important to invest in a paper that's going to take watercolor nice, that will help you with that therapy of plopping down color, that will handle the weight of tip-ins and your bits of your life in there. I'm just going to open it up to this page. This is, again, Tomoe River Paper, 68 grams, and I get it from a shop called Taroko Shop. I think it's Taroko Shop or Taroko Designs on Etsy. I'm going to show you how you can do a spread with these watercolors and some other products that I would use in place of my expensive ones. I have no clue. The brand of this is Colors Well, and these are not chalky. I was surprised when I was playing, and I'm even going to use this little brush that comes with it because I want to show you it's possible. So I'm picking up some water and just putting it in this well. The one thing that I've noticed that many people do is they don't give their watercolors enough water. So I'm just going to take this color and add it with this little brush. Now this is a tiny little brush, so you're going to have to go into your water a lot to make it flow. I'm going to bring it closer because it's like reaching. And then I'm going to add some orange and just like, again, with my plopping video, just kind of playing with the colors. So that's seriously, this is like little kiddo, you know, watercolor stuff. Tozer, be quiet. My dog is going crazy. So I'm going a lot into this jar of water and just giving it more and more water. It's not too bad. Mixing those colors that are next on the color wheel with each other. Notice I can saturate this paper and it's not going to go through on the other side because it's got a film on it since it's the Tomoe paper. I'm going to take a little yellow and kind of go down here. Just going to be like a little rainbow page. Oh, that's blue. Whoops. Thought it was purple. So I'm actually even mixing it in with the other color, this yellow, this green, this yellow, and just kind of making a yellow green over there. You can see it's kind of like pooling there in the middle. You can take just like a paper towel and just suck some of that up. So I'm going to use, you can use a hair dryer for this, but I am going to use a heat gun that I have to just kind of dry it up quickly. I have a little trick where I like to suck up puddles and they make really pretty rings. Okay, so you can see that it does not feel chalky, but you can see those watercolors that, you can get watercolors at the dollar store, and do look for them that have a little bit more of a shiny, because those will not be as chalky. They probably used more of a gum Arabic type of binder to make all the colors stay in there, but it's not chalky. So the other thing I wanted to show you is, so that's just like dollar store paints. Tombow markers you'll see often in journal spreads and stuff. And I'm going to try just like a regular Crayola marker. Tombow markers, you can move them around with water. And I feel like you could do the same thing with a marker, but we're going to try. Yep, you sure can. So, take a marker, a Crayola marker, and pop some on. If you don't have any paints, move it around with some water. That'll work just as good as a Tombow marker. The difference is, and I have seen some really pretty hand lettering techniques by moving this tip around for some hand lettering, but with the Tombow, it's nice. It's kind of like a brushy type of nib, makes it easier for your hand lettering. But as far as getting color on a page, you can use a Crayola. Another thing that I like to use in my journaling is colored pencils. And these are just some like cheap ones. I think one of them is actually from like HEB. They got for free with like HEB points or something at the grocery store. So they didn't spend a ton of money on these pencils. I'm just going to sharpen them real quick. I'm just going to grab this. I do say that if you are wanting to use pencils for your art, there is nothing like a Prismacolor pencil. Like seriously, they are so buttery and smooth, and they just are. I love those pencils. They blend well. I do not enjoy using Crayolas. I never liked Crayolas for anything when I was little, until I never liked colored pencils until I used a Prisma. But I'm just going to show you that you can use these cheaper pencils in your journaling. There's like a quick sketch, and you can add marks. I love adding little tick marks to my pages. And then last but not least, I like to contrast with a ballpoint pen with something black. And normally I use a liner pen of some sort that's, a few dollars on jet pens or something, but I'm just using a ballpoint pen for my little marks. Some more messy stuff. Oh, that was not in frame. I'm so sorry. Ugh. Now, it won't be as easy to do these because it's a ballpoint pen. I have not written with a ballpoint pen in I don't know how long. So the friction actually already was hurting my hand, but you can do it. It is something you can use for your journaling. You don't have to have a more expensive pen. Anyway, so there's a spread that I did using just some simple kiddos tools that you could find in their cubby or whatever at school. You don't have to have a ton of expensive supplies to journal. I would say that if you want to do this type of journaling, please don't skimp out on the paper, because that is like that's your foundation. You really can't do much on paper that's going to bleed through the other side and then get fragile and rip on you. If you wanted to splurge on a roll of washi tape, you know, like that's something extra that you could do. This is the stuff that I have right now. I'm getting my new order in the beginning of May, so I should have more of my washi tape ready to go. It's my rainbow plop washi. It is so much fun. It matches really well with that. Even you could splurge on the washi tape. You can get this gold washi at like Walmart for $2 or something like that. $1 for paints. Probably have a black ballpoint pen at home. If you saved HEB Buddy Bucks, you can get those colored pencils for free if you saved them and asked for Buddy Bucks. You know, you don't have to have expensive supplies to create a page that brings you joy, makes you happy, and that you can put some color on a page before you journal. And like I've always said this since the beginning, it's about the words to me. Like I want to be able to process out my emotions and feelings, and it has always been about words. So if I can bling up a page and it be therapeutic to play with that color, that's the one thing that I heard everybody say, was that they found it very therapeutic to just play with the color. Just these paints and this little paintbrush right here. I just want to encourage y'all that it's possible. You don't need expensive supplies to make a cute page to put your words on, to process, and to have a little bit of relaxation time before you heart gush and get everything on the inside out, so you can see it and you can face it and you can grow from it. Thank you so much for watching and for visiting my channel today. And I have lots of other videos if you like journaling and art and watercolor, if you're just getting used to this type of journaling. And if you want even more and you cannot stand it anymore and you want more, I have like over 70 videos on Patreon. Also, I have on my website some journal with me bundles where I do just this, where I journal with you and I share with you the products that I'm using, the techniques that I'm using. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope y'all have fun decorating some pages with some supplies that you already have, and I will see y'all later. Bye.